Morning all. It's 10:38 on Monday, the 23rd of June, 2025. I think I had to start putting the year in now because 7 or 8 years in, it could get confusing. This is Southwold again. I just had a vigorous 15-mile warm-up bike ride against, I have to say, quite a strong headwind. So that you just don't really think about the wind when you're driving, obviously, and you don't really think about it much when you're walking either. You just head down and trudge on. But yeah, it really does make a difference when you're cycling. So yes, probably. I don't know how. I mean, I was up and away at about 8 from Great Yarmouth. I think we're nearer to Great Yarmouth, so less distance to travel to get set up. So which means I'm making a slightly earlier start than yesterday, which is good. So look, Southwold Pier again, which I gave a peer review of a good solid 8, and there it is. I almost took a point off yesterday because the ice cream shop was really busy, and I just stomped off in a huff and went home instead. Went back to the B&B. I'm going to get an ice cream this morning, and also have a bit of a drink and sit down because I have just literally cycled 15 miles, and I've only just got off the bike and then just changed my top, so and put the hat on as well. I mean, I'm nobody without the hat. So yeah. So today it's Lowestoft. I can't really see much because there's a headland quite close, but I really don't know what's. I'll have a while I'm having my ice cream and drink. I'll have a little scout out of the route and see what's ahead. But basically we're finishing in Lowestoft. I decided to push through Lowestoft to the far end just to get an extra cheeky mile or two on the next day. But I think the one highlight today that we will definitely come across towards the very end of today is the most easterly point in the country. So that'll be something. One to add to my collection. I've nearly got the full set. Yeah. So I'm gonna get an ice cream and a drink and have a sit down for a few minutes, and then pack on back, and off we go that way into the dunes. I mean, we're still well and truly in signpost country. There is no expectation that this will stop anytime soon. I've seen a few of those this morning on my way from Lowestoft as well. So the omens are good. So yeah, I'm going to get a drink and have an ice cream, and I'll talk to you again soon. All right, 11 o'clock. We're making a start proper. I'm already lost. Yeah, I guess there's a sign somewhere at the end of this car park, half of which is closed for something or other. But yeah, so I was looking at the map. There's not really a lot of big stuff on the way until Lowestoft. So today might be a few and far between sort of thing. But not as hot today, which is good. I think it's only like 23 today, and there's a very stiff breeze there, keeping the cool temperature down nicely, and occasional cloud cover. So I think it's merely summery rather than actually injurious and dangerous. I reckon I'm going up there. There's a sort of trail up and over by those houses. Looks promising. There's footpath signs. Covewide. There's a place called Covewide, a couple of miles up. Little seaside nothing. Hamlet, I suppose. Then beyond there, there's not really much at all. Depends how literal the England coast path's going to be today, because there's a couple of villages inland that the Suffolk coast path goes to. Rentham and Rentham, and then there's a Kessingham, I think. I don't know, but they're all a couple of miles inland each, and it's possible that the ECP may not even touch those. Businesses are open as usual. Right. This is the overflow car park. So quite windy today. I'm going to apologise in advance if the microphone's all baffety and whatever. I'll try and face away from the wind whilst talking to you. It's got a fuzzy cover, but I don't know how useful that is in sustained high winds. Anyway, I'm going to head up to the ridge over here and assume the ECP does likewise. Goodbye, Southwold. I honestly think Southwold has to be one of the best piers I've ever seen in this country. I know, high praise. I mean, there's other bigger and fancier and newer things and more modern ones or more storied ones or longer ones, but that one seems to hit the sweet spot with all the different factors, There's always something wrong with all the others. Yeah, we're going to see about another 4, I think, this trip, so lots to look out for. Feeling good, feeling good. I mean, I didn't sleep well, but then I tend not to really on these trips. Either I'm in a tent in a hedge and paranoid about, being murdered in my sleeping bag in the middle of the night, or just told to get off my land by an angry red-faced man with a shotgun. Or I'm in a hotel where they seem to not have AC generally as a rule, and I tend to be just. And of course, I tend to acclimate to being outdoors all day, so I find hotel rooms quite hot and stuffy in general. So this particular one was great, this B&B. Competitively priced, £49 a night. Without the breakfast, it was £10 extra, but that's fine. I don't want to hang around for breakfast. I want to get out and get on with it, so that's okay. That suits me. But very, very loud seagulls that roost nearby or on top. I don't know how anyone in Great Yarmouth sleeps, frankly, without an air rifle by their side. Right, up and away. There's some signboards and things. Hoping to find the ECP, because big bright broad sign saying this way next to the pier, but I haven't seen anything since. I mean, there's logically only really one way to go, so as ever, keep the sea on your right, keep walking. We'll get up on top of there and see what we can see. Bound to be something. It's all been very well signposted up to here. I mean, this is the difference. I mean, I've gone to the National Trails GovCo UK website and stuff, and my old friend, the England Coast Path Planning Stage update map, and from Aldborough north, quite far round to Cromer probably, it's all marked as complete, stage 5 open to the public, which I think we're seeing what that actually means now on the ground. It means good signage and plenty of access, so this is all really good. So I'm not too worried. Let's head on. Speak to you again soon. So, was I gushing about signage and stuff just now? I was, yes. Well, I'll take all that back. So it turns out, I just had a good check on the proper plan map and stuff, that the section between Southwold and Lowestoft isn't actually as finished as I would quite like. It is back on the pink rather than the green, which is ready and open. Largely to a lot of coastal erosion and stuff, and private properties and things. So it looks like we'll be on the Suffolk coast path today, which basically gets there, but it's about another 2 or 3 miles more than I was hoping for today. And there's quite a lot of inland detouring, so I should be taking that today. Oh, a bit of a palate cleanser. I think the coast's overrated anyway. So yes, it'll be zigzagging along the route I basically bicycled this morning already. Hopefully it'll pass near enough to the coast to get a general feel. But yes, the alternative, I've seen a few blogs suggesting you just walk up the beach 12 miles, which is safe to do during low tide. It's high tide currently. I don't really want to wait around for tides. Plus 5 or 6 hours worth. I'll bound to hit a. I don't know, I mean, I could try it, but I mean, it'll be a whole day of trudging on sand and gravel, which I don't really want to do. This would probably be faster. So, yes, sort of zigzag in and out a bit. But we'll have a good day anyway. So, this is the A12, which starts in Lowestoft and ends up in London eventually, getting various sizes of big on the way. It's just an A road in the country out here. So the Suffolk coast path actually goes off inland and sort of diverts off over there and then through the countryside and joins back up the head somewhere. But it's like an extra 2 or 3 miles by the looks of it, so I decided I'm just going to trudge along the A12 for a bit, because, not my first rodeo. I mean, yes, the Suffolk coast path does hook back and makes a very close approximation of the coast. Just has to get past this bit first. So it's possibly where the ECP would have gone if it existed at this point. But I just have to do a very small, dangerous bit of hedge hopping, and then we're back on track. So I'm going to put the camera away for that. Partly because people think I'm filming their cars, Oh, that's pretty. The blue flowers on some sort of set-aside field there. Not even sure what they are. Way too big for forget-me-not. Oh, yeah, I'm just sort of, taking a moment on the A12. I mean, yes, it's called the A12, but at this point it's just another slightly large country lane, really. The behemoth it is when it enters London. Oh, not my first rodeo. So, for preference, walking to oncoming traffic, not the other side. You don't want the cars coming up behind you. You want to be able to see them. Except if you've got blind bends like this one here coming up. Then wait till nothing's coming, cross over to the outside of the bend, regardless of its direction. And then always be ready to jump up onto the grassy bit if there is one. If there's just a hedge, you're going to have to squeeze on in. Wait till the danger has passed. I cycled along here this morning. It's a little bit scary even then. Still, it is Monday and it's 11:37, so there's probably not going to be a lot of traffic about, unless we're at work or whatever. So that mitigates it somewhat. Think tranquil thoughts. Get one with the universe. Why didn't you do some planning, Tim? Why didn't you know this was going to happen? Well, this is the problem. It's actually very difficult to plan an England Coast Path trip. You go to their big... So they've got two websites. There's the official GovUK part of the government website, which is all about planning proposals and PDFs of route marks and stuff. It's not really meant for the general public. You're welcome to look at it, but it's not... But they've got this other sort of touristy England Coast Path, tourist-facing one with all fancy CSS and everything, and that has some stages on, but for example, the stage that isn't finished that I'm on now, it just doesn't exist, isn't listed on there at all. So it's quite hard to put together a coherent plan, you know. I've got a couple of pieces of paper in the backpack, can't be bothered to get them out, but you've seen them before, the PDF prints of their planning maps with the red line all along it. And that's fine, because that's marking out an England Coast Path that one day will be. It's not really something you can use right now as absolute navigation. So yeah, quite often I'll sit there over lunchtime at work using Google Maps in a little bit of measuring string and satellite view to pick out what look like likely footpaths from space. And many of those are private access when you get there on the ground. But yeah, when I actually turn up, stuff like this happens. It's quite tricky. It's part of the challenge for me. It's what I'd like to elevate. This is what I think elevates this above mere tourism into slightly adventure. A slight amount of boys' own scout dib about it all. But stuff like this happens. You find yourself trudging along the A12, regretting your life's choices. Right, private. Okay, keep going. There is a turning to the right. Where the SCP will rejoin this, and actually even the SCP has to use this for a bit. I'm hoping there's like a footpath pavement or something for that stretch. So it will join from the left after its really large meandering detour, which probably is good from a traffic safety perspective. Right, bend coming up. Let's go to the other side. Yeah, but then after that, I think another half mile or so, SCP actually cuts off to the left and becomes an actual proper footpath again, where I'm not likely to get mown down, so that'll be nice. Something to look forward to. Oh, a refuge. Oh, that's nice. And the set-aside field. Lots of, I think they're oxeye daisies in vast profusion. See a few of them nearer. Yeah, glorious. That's much to be said for the English countryside in summer. So much green, verdure. I like autumn and spring as well. I like winter as well in its way. It's just nice all year round. Alright, okay, back to the road anyway. I'll speak to you again soon, hopefully. It's nice. I'm still on the A12, but there's no traffic at the moment. Anyway, speak of the devil. Sorry, I'm on a thing I can stand on without being killed. Maiden. Right. So yeah, that's basically reed bed out to the sea there. I guess I would have been going right to left on the horizon there. But, alas, no car. Well, not what I want to take anyway. Maybe I should have risked it with the shore, but it looked like high tide to me. So I'm going to have to wait an hour or so to make a start, and then 12 miles of just sand and shingle. That sounds hard going. I'd rather do this. So alright, this sounds like a crazy half-assed, ill-thought-out inland detour, but I think if I get to the far side of this reed bed, the SCP, Suffolk Coast Path, starts to pick up and takes me along that way, and then sort of zigzags its way on the inside of the reed beds, more or less along the coast. Not quite as ECP as I'd like, but it'll do. Yeah, I don't think I end up on here again, so that'd be nice. Alright, let's trudge on. I can make this. I can do it. Well, I nearly missed the turn off the A12 there. And this is the path, the SCP, apparently. But I did wonder I hadn't seen any of the arrow signs. They actually taken them down because, check this out. Closed. Okay, so boardwalk unsafe, somewhere along here, I suppose. So I don't know what I do now. This was my alternate route. So I suppose I have to carry on up the road of death to hit this red thing. Maybe try that. I don't know if that's permissible path at all. I have to do a quick bit of trespass. Yeah. I mean, it's interesting here. I'm going to climb up there. Close look at that. That's showing. Zoom in on that a little. That's showing a green dotted line all the way up the coast, literally on the foreshore. Maybe I should have taken that. Yeah. Because, I mean, this SCP's all over the place at the moment. Maybe I should have gone up the shore, yeah. Alright, well, let's try and rejoin the shore if I'm going to do that option anyway. Right, so, let's think. This is the SCP. It does carry on past here and go where I want to go. I think I need to go up the main road to the next right, go up there, regardless of if it's public access or not, and then cut across. I'll have to check see if there's any. I'll have to get the proper big paper map out and have a good old look, but I basically need to go around this broken bit of path, or I can even join my alternate route, otherwise I'm up here, or even worse, just walking along the A12 to Lowestoft, which is going to be an absolute... I mean, if I don't get killed by a car, I'll kill myself, probably. Right, okay. So we do want to try and get along the shore. Bloody hell, that was... Yeah, I should have done that from the start. I mean, it would have been hard, but this is still going to be hard work. Alright, well, I can still probably get to the shore eventually along here. They sort of coincide, and then I can make a choice. But first I have to get to the other side of here. Either along this or along that. I don't even know if those are actual footpaths. I mean, I'm not sure what this red stuff is. Is that the alternate route that they're suggesting? Probably. Alright, well, that's no point trying to get over there, because I'm just going to end up thigh deep in a bog or something. That'll end my trip quite badly. So, back on the road to death and look for the next right, I suppose. God, I didn't expect today to be such a palaver. Maybe I should have just gone for the shore. Well, it's too late to double back that way now. It's about 3 or 4 miles back. Okay, carrying on. Well, I mean, it's a track. I'm seeing a gate or private sign on it. Oh no, there's actually a footpath. Oh, brilliant. Thank God for that, because I just don't think I could survive on there any longer. Emotionally, certainly. Right, okay, we can recover this. This is good. Go up here. One set of trees on the right, then the second set of trees on the right should be another byway, and that should eventually intersect with the other side of the SCP. Oh, God. Well, I mean, yesterday was nice. Didn't have to think about navigation at all, I suppose. Can't expect that every day. Good. I still think this, even with this nonsense, I think this is still going to be quicker than me trying to trudge across 12 miles of sandy dune. Just really takes it out of you going across open sand. It's all that business of walking without rhythm so you don't attract the worm, you know. Takes it out of a chap. So, okay. Now, this is the first row of trees. There's no path along there. There'll be another field, then a second row of trees on the right, and there should be a path along that. If I follow that to the end of that, I should be back on the SCP, which I can then follow onward and hope it's better maintained for the rest of the day. Good. Okay, I'm feeling more optimistic about today, because the alternative at that point would either be walk back to Southwold and then try the beach. That's 4 miles and then another 12 miles of beach, or just keep trudging up the A12, which is less than ideal. I hope something like this turned up further along. No, this looks good. I can work with this. And I'm very much in the forgiveness rather than permission mindset right now, so I will get where I'm going one way or another. Good. Barley, I think. All the long wispy bits. Nearly ready to harvest too. Late June, yeah. Picking some of that up soon, I expect. Get the machines out. Yeah, up by that line of trees should be a crossroads. I should just take a right there. Get back on track. It's 12:15. I've probably been going about an hour. Hour and a bit. I think with this nonsense, it'll probably end up being about the same sort of distance as yesterday, but not quite as hot. So we'll see. Making no guesses about finishing time. 6ish, I suppose. It took me 2.5 hours to get back to the B&B after signing off yesterday. Let's drive like 15 miles to go and get the bike, 17 miles, and of course the main car route to there was a bit more around the houses. And then I had to go all the way back to Great Yarmouth from Aldborough, which is a significant distance. I mean, last time I did it, it was more of a sort of, because of all the rivers, it was more like a going down each of the prongs of a different leg, as it were. Basically, it meant that all distances were more or less the same from the hotel, but this is more of a straight line arrangement with hotel halfway up that straight line. So yeah, some of the longer extents are going to take some sorting out. I got back to the hotel by about 9. Had a shower. Didn't think that was too late to be banging about making noise. And then I just chilled, read a bit of book, and then passed out. I'm reading Adrian Tchaikovsky's Eyes of the Void at the moment, which is the second one of the Architects trilogy, I suppose. Science fiction. Good stuff. Enjoying that. Huge cosmic horror alien menace appears out of nowhere, starts literally transforming the worlds of humanity into interesting pieces of art, regardless of who's trying to live on them at the same time. I'm desperately trying to find ways of fleeing from it and trying to stop them and work out why it's going on. Oh, good. Like it. Right. So up here. Yeah, right hander, I guess. I hope so. Anyway, otherwise I'm just going to trudge along the field margin until I get to where I think it ought to be. Not taking no for an answer. Silage. Good. So according to my various maps and whatnot, this is now the Suffolk coast path. This is, you would have come up this way from the broken boardwalk, and we continue over there. Lovely footpath. Well, the yellow discs, the blue disc with the yellow arrow in, so I'll try and keep an eye on that. And yes. Don't go up there because that's a private, not a right of way. Can't come down there, no, not at all. Right then, let's crack on. I feel happier again. I'm back on at least one of the paths I'm trying to follow this week, so that's all good. We'll crack on this way. Still not going to be much of a coast thing. I don't know. I'll try and find points. There may be a couple of points where the Suffolk coast path intersects the actual shoreline, in which case I might have to, because, you know, given it's been a couple of hours now, the tide might be on its way out, I might consider just deviating onto the shortcut along the beach. I don't know. Let's see. Clearly the ECP is a bust for this leg. Disappointing. Not quite sure what their plan is. Just make people go along the beach. Or they're just going to piggyback the SCP. If they're going to, they're going to get this boardwalk over there fixed. Otherwise there's some potential trespassing to be done. Not that I condone that sort of thing, of course. Alright, steady as she goes. Pigs! Lots of pigs. See, this is the sort of place I wouldn't do detours through fields because there's all sorts of biosecurity things goes on with pigs. They can catch human diseases, so, you know, it's unfair. So no, I'm on the right path. It's good to see. You can see the sea over there. It's really not that far away. Across some sort of marshlandy bits there, wetlands, and then boom, straight out into the dunes. So I'm considering joining the sea. So up ahead we go out right a bit, and then there's the village of Covewithe. You can see the church tower there, and that leads down to the beach itself. And I think, I don't know, I'll need to check some tide times and get some signal. But the SCP, Suffolk Coast Path, goes on a huge sort of big old inland detour all the way in there, and rejoins the coast at the end of the sandy bit. And actually, it's not 12 miles, it only looks 2 at tops. So I reckon I could do a trudge like that instead. That would actually save me some time, get me where I'm going more quickly, make up for this nonsense. So yeah, I'm considering it. I'll see what the tide's like when we get there. First we need to get to Covewithe. There might be a shop, there might not. It looks like a tiny, tiny place. That's a beach car park or something. But it's possible, because the SCP rejoins at the end of the beachy bit, about 2 miles north anyway, and it looks like they share the same route along a sort of cliffy, headlandy bit up to I forget the name of the place, but the place beyond in Lowestoft. So that might be the plan for the day. I'm very good at plans. Well, let's get to Covewithe and see what's what. See what the shore's like. Yeah. There we go. The other end of Benacre National Nature Reserve. Do not climb the cliffs. So yeah, I mean that green dotted line does sort of imply that it's just beach, beach, beach all the way up. I should do that. Anyway, so yeah, missed the whole chunk of beach off of here. We could rejoin it here. It's Covewithe. Instead of cutting off across here somewhere, where I think the Suffolk Coast Path goes off and does this inland edge instead. I think we could try it, risk it for a biscuit, see what the shore's like. If it looks like it's high and coming in, then probably no, but if it's high-ish and going out, then yeah, give it a go. I waterproofed my boots before bringing them out. They are new and they were advertised as waterproof, but can't hurt to put another layer on, I thought. Unless I completely destroyed the existing waterproofing with weird chemicals, I don't know. Life's too short to worry about too many things at once. So yeah, let's get to Covewithe. See what they got. I doubt it looks really small. I doubt there's even a pub or even a beach kiosk. But if there is, I can do with another drink. Otherwise, I've got my own water. And we can press on. And then yeah, try actual beach walking for a bit. It's quite rare. Still, this has been a nice change of texture. Quite interesting. All sorts of variety on this leg, whether I wanted it or not. Ah, there you go. That's why there was no signage. They probably took the arrows off because they wanted anyone going down there. Yeah, same sign, other end. So they closed all of that just because that piece of boardwalk. Disappointing. Oh, anyway, there's another arrow, so that's good. Back on track. There's a QR code as well. Ugh. Right, so we take a right along here. At some point, it will go left off to the SCP and carry on into the countryside there. But if I follow this to the end, we should end up at the beach. And I've checked. So high tide for Southwold, which is just over there, was 9:25 this morning. Low tide is 3 something or other this afternoon. And high tide again is next at 9 o'clock, 2100 hours, 9 something this evening. So I probably could have just struck off along that beach as it was, but certainly it's now 1 o'clock more or less, 2 hours to low tide. I could probably get across the bit I need at least within 4 hours, certainly before it comes back up again. So actually, that what looked to be high tide to me was actually well on its way out. Never mind. So if I go up there now and do it now, we should be good. Should be at low tide most of the way, most of the afternoon. Low enough for me to make some progress across. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to walk along the seashore. Be nice. Keep my boots on though. Now, Coveway Beach. Finally made it. Bit of a zigzag. I can still see the lighthouse. Can't see the nuclear reactor though. Okay, so that must be the headland you could see north and right from there. So, okay, well, this is the beach. And then find the cliffs, obviously. Not too near those. Don't know what the tidal range is here either. It's, like, as I said before, it's about 2 hours until low tide. It's on its way out, so it's safe enough. I just have to head down and trudge on, but of course it's just this, there's no path. I mean, it shows a path on the map, obviously, but this is pretty much what it is. So I don't know, I suppose the best going is on the wet stuff near the shoreline, near the water, but not too near the water, you're going to get actually run over by waves. This stuff's very powdery, hard going. Stonier the better, I suppose, but up to a point. Try to find a line. So I need to get to somewhere called Kessingham, which I think looks to be about 4 miles that way. 2 to 4. I don't know, it's hard to tell from the maps. I've joined the beach path about 3/4 of its length, so that's already all done. Didn't have to do any of that, but I don't know, so I just have to head down and keep going that way until I don't know. I'll need to do some research. My big worry is I won't spot the off ramp, Just keep going. I suppose eventually it ends up at Lowestoft, but yeah, there we go. This is me for the next hour or two, so I'm thinking I'm just going to sit down for a bit and have a drink and a packet of peanuts. I mean, there was nothing in Coveway, it was just a church and some houses. I do bring 2 pouches of peanuts with me, as regulation standard. Moments like this where there's just nothing to eat. So yeah, I'm going to have a small lunch here before pressing on. What's that, 1:15, so plenty of time. I mean, low tide at 3 and then presumably a couple of hours for it to come back up to dangerous levels again. So I reckon I've got about 4 hours at least before I need to worry, before it gets to be like this again. And it seems quite steep, so I don't think it goes too far in or out. Maybe it's okay. Maybe this stuff stays permanently dry except in big storms or whatever. Anyway, I've got to sit down and drink and eat some nuts and then, bag on and trudge that way. See how far it goes. Certainly to the headland, anyway. Wow. Anywhere I've been is worthy of a slow pan, this certainly is. That's the Benake Nature Reserve. Trees falling off the cliff at the top there. Southwold behind, lighthouse blinking out open and the pier. And the sea. There's a military boat lurking out there, couldn't work out what that was. And sandy headland. No idea what lies beyond. Should go and see. So we're going next. It's yellow, very sandy cliffs here. Constant erosion. This is that part of the world where all the stories about having to relocate houses inland or put a lighthouse on caterpillar tracks and leave it 100 yards inland because the land's just being eaten. This is where it all happens. So I've worked out this wet bit here between the top of the ridge and the water itself is best, gives a good solid compaction. Decent progress on it. I probably should have just struck off from the pier along the shore here all along. It turned out that was actually the right sort of time. The tide wasn't high. Just looked quite near. It is. I mean, this is quite a steep beach, so the tidal range not actually that far horizontally. It goes up and down, obviously, but even at low tide, they're probably not going to be that much further away. This is probably it. I mean, this line of stones here is probably high tide, normal high tide. But yeah, this wet bit here, it's sort of compact. It's nice and solid, decent. It's not like I'm ploughing my way through. So if I follow this all the way, I think we'll be okay. It's a slight angle, which is a little bit off-putting, but I feel a heel blister developing as well. These are new boots, by the way, so we'll see how they do. see where their particular pain points are. Not as, I mean, they said wide on the Amazon, but not as wide as the previous ones I had. Feeling a little toe pinch on that side as well. Oh well, these things must be endured. Much more thicker sole on these ones though. The previous Merrills I had very thin on the sole, so you could feel all the stones. There wasn't much cushioning. Just different blisters in different places this time. Not sure it can be avoided. So here I go, drifting along the beach. A couple of miles of this, and then there'll be some way up to the next village, I think. Keep an eye out. I should have done this from the start. Delightful. I'd sort of forgotten about this sort of wet, compacted bit. I'm worried about ploughing through the sand drifts of dry stuff. Mind you, this is a bit concerning. It's a lot of quite sharp debris. Yeah, in the it hasn't had time to weather or get worn away by wind and rain. My grass is still alive. I mean, that's a recent fall. That's in the last year or two, probably this year. Big heaps of sand piling up on it. It's all very clean as well. You notice there's not much plant life growing along there. A bit here and there, but fast-growing opportunists mostly. Nothing big with like branches. No, this is, I think, measurably receding year by year. How much can be done about it? I mean, you know, we've done a lot of coast since London, and we've seen sea defences down there. We'll probably see more robust sea defences around the bigger towns along our way up here, but ultimately you just cannot cannot slather this entire thing in concrete for the benefit of what? A few pig farms, small village. Yeah, money has to go where it can be best spent. Save the most people, most houses and stuff. So I'm keeping to this bit. I mean, it's easier to walk on, but also B, I don't want to be underneath any of that when it goes, because it could. It's active erosion. Haven't seen anything fall off today, but could do. I think more like heavy rains tend to do the real work, but I don't know what the North Sea's like for storms. It seems very dry around this part of the world. I'm always irrigating everything. Right, onto that end, and then we'll see what's around the corner. Oh, look at that, tubes. Surf's up. Very small tubes. You could surf on that, briefly. Something's washed up there. Black object. See, I've done it again. Now we have to sit here in awkward silence while I slowly walk towards it. That's some sort of, I don't know, floating thing? I don't think it's like a piling or anything. I don't think it's dug into this floor. I think it's washed up. I don't know though. Oh, it's got what looks like rebar poking out of it. Maybe this was a fixed point. Something was attached to it, concrete block. Don't seem to be doing much now. Sewage outfall? Oh, hello. Big piece of something concrete there falling off. No, that's not related. Yeah, that's a piece of the house. Wow. Take a risk. I can see the overhang on some of that crap. Yeah, this is somebody's building, farm building maybe, off the top. Not too long ago either, I looked at it. Oh. Yeah, I'm not sure what purpose that serves. It doesn't look like a washed up, there's a huge block of concrete there. Who knows? Onward! Yeah, you only notice the bird hive when you start having a piss. Looks like it's unoccupied. So that's Benacre Broad, I think. So we need to just carry along the coast, keep going on the beach. Just under halfway for today so far, after all that mucking about. So yeah. Anyway, so we keep going this way about a mile or two. We should come to an off ramp. There's like a stream and a bridge over it, and that's the SCP picking back up again. And I can follow that up into Kessingham, where I can probably get something to eat or drink or something. I'm really not feeling the heat today. Don't know what temperature it turned out to be in the end, but this wind is really keeping me nice and cool. It's great. It's just like a summer day now, not like a like a day in an oven. So yeah, just keep on trudging really. I'm very, very meditative along here. So I still see Southwold, but it's okay. It's journey, not the destination, or something. Well, they do quite like getting to the destination as well, don't they? It's a strange dichotomy. I enjoy doing it, but I also enjoy it being over in more or less equal measure. Little turns. There you go. The blackheads there. Climate change, nest disturbance and predators are a problem for these guys. Yeah. Probably big ass seagulls crowding out everything. So if they attack other birds, that wouldn't surprise me. Don't like seagulls. Yeah, stay out of the roped area. Okay, no problem. It's easier going down by the water anyway, so let's crack on. Oh, there's a chalkboard. Is it a pub? No swimming. Yeah. Like a bird colony. Okay, it's a count of birds. Please walk close to the sea. Oh, I was going to anyway. Right, let's go. Yeah, still on the Strand. This is my home now, this is where I live. I walk the beach. Nah, it's going to come to an end soon. Let's see that lump in the distance there. That's, I don't know, Kessingland, I think. Up and beyond there a bit. I'm not quite sure what that big blocky thing is. Golf course. Some white things on the end as well. I mean, you know, as is the way. If I just keep walking, I'll find out. But yes, there's no way around that headland on the beach. It all goes to sort of cliffy bits now after that, even at low tide. So it'll be up and onto the SCP, and maybe even we'll see an ECP. But I'm not holding my hopes up today. Sounds like it's washed its hands of responsibility for Southwold to Lowestoft. So you will be north of Lowestoft, I expect. That's all declared as open and finished, so that's alright. Didn't get too badly lost today. Something washed up there. I'll get a bit nearer and let you know. Yeah, pillbox. Second World War, I imagine. I think it started life here and sank, or whether it rolled off the sea. I don't imagine it floats. Maybe it started life on top of the cliff. Maybe the cliffs have eroded this much since 1945. That's cool. There's a whole load of nesting birds up there. Let me come back in zoom mode. Right. What's going on in there? Smiths, swallows, something. Like a vertical city. This is all rather temporary. That will go the next winter. So I suppose you need a nest for one season. Oh, I just saw something flash past. I'm not very good at targeting actual birds. I don't know. There you go. Oh, a tent there. See a fishing pole coming out of it. The shoreline fishing, lovely. Oh dear. So we're coming to the end of the beach there. The beach I probably should have stayed on since Southwold. Oh, if you just squint, you can see Sizewell in the background still. Yeah, we'll be up and onto those rocks and then along some sort of path now. Still a fair way to go. Lowestoft itself is fairly big. That's going to take a mile or two to track through. I'm on the far end. Let's see what the deal is up here then. I get up and out. No way further along the shore. This is relatively low tide. It's 2 o'clock. Yeah, another hour of the tide going out, but that doesn't look like it goes out very far here at any event. But then it doesn't look like it comes up too high either, so even in high tide you could have a good old go at that, to be honest. Don't take that as advice though. Right, up and away through here somehow. Something, a sort of military thing on the end there, big spiky fence. Well, here we go, leaving Benacre National Reserve again. Oh, here. Interesting. A tide time chart, that would have been helpful. This is I'm leaving. But yes, look, apparently I did the right thing anyway. Can't actually, there you go. Can't actually get past the stuff at the end anyway, so detour was in order. I think in retrospect I probably made the best decisions there, but it would have been useful to know ahead of time. I suppose if I'd have kept going along the shore, I'd have found something like that at the other end with the tide timetable and the big red bit. So I would have had to, I think, basically make the same detour I already did. So yeah, I did the right thing. Fancy. Right. Up and across this pumping station, drainage channel thing. Yeah. And then away. Trying to find any arrows on a post really. I mean, you can see Lowestoft now there in the background. Journey's End. Just need to work out how to get there straight across this lot, I guess. Across these dunes, keep an eye out for posts with markers on. So you might have a sit and well, that looks bench-like. You might have some water. Looking forward to finding a pub. Could do with a lemonade about now, really. Right, good. That's it. It's been a good run so far. On to the next village. Yeah, back in civilization, sort of. Holiday park and static caravans over the fence there. The landscaping. Well, that's Lowestoft. That's Journey's End for today. It's about 3 or 4 miles away, I think. And then I need to do about another mile just to get to the far side of it. Just to bulk up the mileage for today, take some off of the mileage for the end of the week. That's the plan anyway. It's all good. Yeah, just going to follow this. This is apparently the SCP, but I haven't seen the blue circles with yellow arrows yet. It's all a bit hit and miss really around these parts. And it does do a bit of zigzaggy inland around as it tries to negotiate with a crumbling cliff top and also some satellite suburb villages before I get back to the main town. Oh, interestingly, Lowestoft is still part of Suffolk, although the river that it's on the north side of goes about a mile upstream and then marks the border between Norfolk and Suffolk. So Lowestoft is a sort of bulge of Suffolk poking into Norfolk. Make of that what you will. So we're not going to cross into Norfolk today. That'll be tomorrow morning, probably. Right. Keep on plodding. End of the line for this promenade. Not a very good one, to be honest. I think it's just to see more of the fences with a bit of path. And the dunes will be gone one day. Alright, so I think I need to do a bit of inland chicanery now for the next couple of hours. Culminating in a revisit to our old friend the A12. Yep, that's the route. That's the way we go. I think this is technically still the Suffolk Coast Path. I haven't seen that on their signage in a while. And you're really in shock as the my OpenStreetMap reader app says so. So there we go. I guess that's Cassingham. Good. Yeah, came out of there. I think I'm going up there. It's all a bit pastoral now. moment. I think we're dealing with a bunch of inland detours because basically it's a crumbling cliff now, the coast. It should eventually take me back up and round to Lowestoft proper. Oh, yeah, a long day. Felt like a long day anyway. I mean, it's exactly the same, well, slightly shorter than yesterday, technically speaking. So, rapeseed. Yeah, all the yellow flowers are gone now. These pods, little seeds inside that go black when they're dried and then they get crushed. A spherical thing. Not very good at macro work. But yeah, so the small seeds there, they just get hydraulically crushed to make oil. Right. Let's keep trudging on. I think it's this way. I better check though. So, you know all that nonsense we had this morning with me dodging cars in traffic and stuff? That wasn't the A12, that was the B1147 or something. This is the A12, which I now do have to walk along. Fortunately, I've got a footpath at least, so let's do that for a bit then. I guess coast no good at this point. I mean, this is classic route planning for national trails. It really is. It's like we'll do our best, but there's just going to be so much argy-bargy with private land and collapsing cliffs that eventually you're just going to have to fall back on. Well, we'll just use the same route as if you were going to drive there. It's usually a sort of default fallback. So yes, this next hour promises to be unpleasant. I probably won't document a lot of it. Little bit. That's one junction. Yeah, I'll do another one, and then I can take a right and go back to something a bit more civilised. I get to know where the Morrisons is anyway. I need to sit down and have a speak. It's gotten very long, this. I keep following pavements anyway. Is that it? That goes where I want? No. I'll let you check the map as well. Well, there we go. Welcome to Lowestoft. Not quite how I was expecting to arrive. Blimey. I think this is the roundabout I need to get off at. That's my exit. McDonald's. Get a big drink maybe. No, let's keep going. If I take a right here somewhere, I can end up down on the beach again. On the seafront, which should be good. See what we see. I ain't come on holiday for this. A number of small sized streets and bicycle only tracks and stuff down here. It's nice and far away from the A12. And I think this might be the coast again. We'll see. Cliffs, perhaps some cliff top path. Definitely making some headway anyway. That's what my feet are telling me. What's that? 4 o'clock, more or less. Starting to come into Lowestoft proper. There's quite a bit to get through there as well. I think that this path will just take us all the way into the outskirts. Along the top here. I could go down and use the shore, I guess, but let's stay up for now. So an acorn on the fingerboard over there, pointing down this path. Promising. Yeah, it didn't specifically claim any kind of allegiance, just an acorn, but I know the sign. Just a tiny little reminder that perhaps one day this might be the England Coast Path. Oh, good. Keep plodding on. And where the hell have you been? First one of these I've seen since Southwold. It's literally starting out. If you any others of these today. Well, damage is done now, I suppose. I don't know what the ECP would recommend. Probably the coast all the way to Southwold once you've done. Oh, even this maybe. I don't know. Maybe that's why it's not complete. They're trying to work out how to fix up some of the collapsed rocks and things. Who knows? Anyway, back on the trail, I suppose. Go me, it's like about an hour's left walking left to do today. At least I'm back on the ECP. Good, good, good. Bit of evening promenading, late afternoon. I remember a bit saw about this on the radio or the news or something. It's the country's largest open air beach festival. It was yesterday and Saturday. So yeah, missed that. Probably wouldn't have stopped even if I had. Quite big day. Taking down. Must have been at this all day. Right, let's try and crack on to the bridge. Yeah. More beach huts going in there, I imagine. Yeah, that was probably it. The 23rd is today. Oh, it's quite late. Oh, is it? Is it? Is it another time? Or is it time for another episode of Peer Review? I think this is Lowestoft South Pier. We've got a north one, but yeah. Gosh, that's quite different to Southwold, isn't it? Squat, ugly. I mean, it goes out into the sea. There's absolutely nothing on it beyond the entrance building. Yeah. I think at first glance one might think it's a canning works or something. Let's go and have a look. Reserve judgment until we've seen inside. Do apologise, it's Claremont Pier. Can't see anybody on it, which suggests closed. Yes, derelict. Then I look at the main building. I think it's just an excuse for a fish and chip shop at the end of the day. Not too much else going on. Nearly there. And one. It's playing hide and seek at the moment. Oh. Various shut things, and it could be because it's a Monday night, or it could be because there's just no demand. I'm going to try and go through to the end, see if it can get out onto the actual pier. It's not looking good so far. I'm leaning towards a 4. Yeah, very large amusement arcade, coin drops and fruit machines. No video games anymore. Mind you, that's not Pier's fault. Home console entertainment did that. But yes, look, you can actually go on a bit of it. There's absolutely nothing here. I'd give it I'll redeem it a point for actually allowing some sort of access on here, but it's still only 5. I mean, at the end of the day, it's okay. If your town or community or council can't afford to maintain a pier in all its glory, then it's okay to just demolish it, you know? Don't linger on with this half animate corpse of architecture, you know? Clearly it was bigger than this. I mean, the original purpose of a pier was for somewhere pleasure cruising paddle steamers to dock, you know? Or even just, actual transport links. And that's all gone into the car, I suppose, and the rail. What's that over there? Area of oddly disturbed water. Cross currents colliding, perhaps. Oh, look, you got an egg. Well, at least somebody's getting some use out of the pier. All right, I'll go away. I'm not here to cause you any trouble. Well, yeah, I still think this is only a 5. It's basically a fish and chip shop and amusement arcade on stilts. Right, so we need to get over there. I think we need to be somewhere near the base of that giant windmill, because I think that's where the big thing that says you're at the most easterly point in the UK is, and that's definitely something I want to hit today. But this is Lowestoft, and it's cut through by a river that leads out into the Broads, into Alton Broad, I think, the start of the Norfolk Broads from here northward. So I have to get to a bridge and cross it. Came across it already on the bike this morning. So we've still got a little bit of yomping to do before we're finished. I think probably about 2 miles all in now. And we're at 1640. I was going to use this but these birds are so comfortable with the utter lack of people on here that they've set up nests. I'll leave them to it, really. I don't want to cause them any stress. Right, so off of here. This is going to be my end of day stage originally, and then I ended up having to do it looked like I was going to have to do a 22-mile day on the last day and then drive home. So I have to stretch and jigger it about a bit. Right, let's get out. Let's get off of this sad excuse for a pier. It's mockery of Victorian seaside entertainment, and head on. Try and find the bridge. If I can get. Oh, they closed the door. Okay, I might live here now. Oh, nice enough promenade in general. Pleasant. I don't think that's even their real pier. I think there's a south pier further north. Oh yeah, just coming up. Oh, time for another peer review. Double bill. Not quite sure what to make of this one. This one looks like an actual working wharf, and it's got like a jazzed up frontage. Like there. Well, I can't imagine any boats get close to that with the rocks and stuff. Like the restaurants, library, fish and chips. Yeah, don't know. We hold judgment till we get closer, I guess. It does look like that's the main actual, the southern pier of the river entrance. So, not sure it's quite the same class and category. But we'll go and have a look. All the chain link fencing. No, a good sign. East Point Pavilion. Nice, classic, like it. Botanical Gardens, maybe. Yeah. Soft play area or something. Fine. Oh, a long day. But not long. It's about the same as most of my normal days, but it just felt long today. I don't know why. Maybe it's the 2 days in a row thing. Oh, the entertainment centre. You know, this looks even tackier than the Claremont Pier I just off. Just a cafe and a pub. Got a work in progress too. Looks like some kind of paddling splash thing going in here. Maybe. Yeah, that's going to be a 4 probably that. Yeah, one can put a bunch of grabby crane toys and things in a room and call it an amusement arcade, but frankly I've seen better. Right, well there's an ECP pub. Actually, yes, this is Children's Corner, I think, marked on the map. I don't know what that even means. But this is the end of the Suffolk Coast Path, as far as I can tell from the mapping. Comes to this point and stops. I don't know. I mean, that's technically Suffolk, north of the river, but only for a little bit. Norfolk's about 2 miles up the coast from here. So, goodbye Suffolk Coast Path, which I think I've done all of, in theory, although I may have taken some shortcuts and things, but done most of the extent of it, which runs from Felixstowe to here. And it's been an invaluable veteran backup who's had my back when the ever mercurial England Coast Guard has decided it can't be asked. There's always been the SCP to fall back on, and now that's gone. So I'm going to have to hope the England Coast Path ups its game going north from here, because I don't think there's any other like Norfolk Coast Path, or if there is, it's been subsumed into that. Yeah, well, we'll see. I'm going to have to. We're not done today. I need to cross the river, obviously, the harbour, and yeah, there's a sort of big sort of swing bridge thing, or submersible bridge, or raising bridge, or something, to let all this lot up into the Norfolk Broads, which you can get into from here, from this river. The River Waveney, I think? I don't know. Tidal protection. Seeing the word Waveney here and there, so maybe. Anyway, let's crack on. We'll get to the other side and a bit of trudging along that busy road, over into that industrial estate, and then that. Nearly done though. There we go, that's the end of the Suffolk Coast Path. That's another one I can tick off. Didn't need a separate series for that one after all. Okay, there's the bridge. That goes off into the Norfolk Broads. A big, super big bridge for the bypass over there. This one's a bit older, a bit more traditional. Mind the gap. Low paths lift up. Probably shouldn't dawdle on here. Oh, it's quite bouncy. Rush hour. It's so very busy all of a sudden. People kicking out of work. Good, well, that's where I need to go next anyway. Although for interest, my car is parked at the far end of amusingly named Wopload Road. So we'll go to the coast and then circle back. There we go, back to the shore again. I couldn't get into any of that. That was all port and fisheries and stuff, or chain link fences and things. This is the first access to the place now. Good. Nearly done. Yeah, Scottish Power, I think. There must be a wind turbine servicing fleet. Quite cool. Modern looking. There you go, wind turbine right there. Look, that's on land. You can hear it. I don't know if you can hear it. Oh. They are quite noisy, but there's the expectation that anyone ought to live this close to it. I approve, I'm all for it. I miss my turning. Let's go to the end and see. Now, I'll show what that is. A moon base from a 70s high concept drama. Offices, I'd imagine. I can't think anyone would want to live in it, but you never know. Somebody will do anything for a CPU. Look at this though. If any of them blades came off, I'd be dead. Surely you can hear that from now. It's still not an unpleasant noise, even at this range. I don't know if it's symbolic or whether it's actually producing useful power for this estate. Right, nearly there, look, at the most easterly point awaits. I think it's marked out by that big spirally block. The people milling about there as well. I intend to mill too. Here we are. Ta-da! A massive bullseye here that you can see quite clearly from Google Maps. This is the most easterly point in the United Kingdom. Well, and England as well. At this point, the same thing. Yeah. All sorts of markings on the exterior edge showing distances to various places. Monte Carlo, 668 miles. It goes on, there's quite a lot of them. Berlin is due east of us. Interesting. Well, I suppose those rocks technically, or that marker thing. Feels good. I mean, I walked from. This is the third one out of the set of 4 that I've collected now. Well, someone's had the plaques off this one. But yes, I've walked from the most westerly point, which is Land's End, of course. Then the most southerly point, which is Lizard Rock, which is only about 2 days walk from there. But then to get to here is, I'm quite proud of that actually. I feel like I've achieved something. Of course, I've got to collect all 4, got to collect the set. So the most northerly point in England is Berwick-on-Tweed, which is about 2027 that way. I reckon 2 years or so, I think, at my current rate of holidaying, give or take, I should hit it. The most northerly point in the Great Britain will be, I don't know, is it either Cape Wrack or John O'Groats? I'm not sure. One of the headlands up that kind of way, and I'm not going there. I mean, I might go there as like a weekend break or just a trip just to go and see it. But on this walking endeavour, I'm probably going to turn left when I hit the border to Scotland, head to the Lake District. So yeah, but I'm very pleased to have gotten this far. Really, not that I keep a super meticulous track or anything, but I reckon I'm probably on about 1,450, maybe 1,500 miles somewhere along this week. So since Minehead. And here's a thing. Here's a thing I've seen. Yeah, what's in the middle? Well, there was probably something in the middle, but it's gone now. I'll add it away. Some plates missing over there. It's a shame. But I don't know. It's an arbitrary thing, really, isn't it? Cardinal compass directions. But hey, I don't know. I'm pleased with this. Well done, me. Anyway, right. So we got to keep going. We got to. You can get out of that end. I don't think you can. You probably have to get back on top. About half a mile, quarter of a mile north is a caravan park, and then if I cut through there, I can find the car park where my car is. That's the plan, anyway. Didn't mean to finish here specifically, but this is where I seem to have ended up. So yeah, well done. All right, can't stop and collapse now. So got a bit more to do, and then I've got to muck about with, going back to Southwold and get the bike, etc., etc. But yeah, nearly done for today anyway. Excellent. This is a bit more monumental than Land's. Well, Land's End's a big old amusement park, and it's got the famous sign that you have to pay 10 quid to get photoed next to that. And it's all roped off. You don't see the rope in the photos. You can't actually approach it unless you're paying. This is much better. I like it. I mean, I like Lizard as well. Lizard's quite unassuming. It's just a sort of jetty and a little bunch of arts and crafts shops, Yeah, I'll get a photo of this before I move on. Right. I think this is my turning. My exit. Cut through this to the roundabout and just on the left to the car park and hopefully my car. I'm never entirely certain. It was a slightly exciting moment. Yeah, well, this is where I stopped today. Thanks for, this day nearly outstayed its welcome. Thanks for following me, or, at least watching a bit of it and, nodding a bit and then going off and doing something else. I mean, an hour an episode is a lot to ask. Yes, so I'm going to stop here. And then, so tomorrow, join me tomorrow bright and early, don't be late. And I shall be cycling from north of Great Yarmouth to here, and rocking the bike to something. I still haven't identified a suitable bike track yet. And then striking off in that direction to Great Yarmouth and beyond. Tomorrow we shall absolutely and definitely cross over into Norfolk, which will put another county in my bag. Not that I'm collecting them like some grizzly trophy hunter, but the bright lights and big city of Great Yarmouth, a seafront to be seen and believed. I can tell you now. Right, I'm going to go and jump in the car, go and rescue Theseus, try and reassemble the whole team back in Great Yarmouth, where my B&B is. So, see you next time. Ta-da! Looks like the bridge does open. Yeah, your wooden wheel want to be stood on that when it goes. Of course, I'm stuck in traffic now trying to get past it. Hey ho.